How does one cope with stress? A response with such a negative connotation that, to truly understand it, we need to consider that for every emotion humans experience, think your Pixar's joy, anger, sadness, fear, and disgust, it could be speculated that there are only two real emotions at the center of it. Those two emotions are joy and fear. Now, these two emotions often work at odds with each other. For every moment of happiness, there has to be a deep-seated root of fear underneath, maybe the loss of happiness. But being able to utilize the powerful emotions of stress with a bit of a better attitude can not only help stressed individuals better understand their mental health, but it can also help them improve their response to whatever they're stressing about, a better output. Today, we will be reviewing such coping mechanisms with the help of the World Health Organization's definition of mental health to better understand where we're coming from, and AllMinds' guide to cultivating an empowering mental health journey, so that you may understand that if you want to cope with stress, if you want to better yourself, you need to have a better view of the emotions you feel, recognize the roots of the emotion in your brain, and connect it to those other emotions first. You also need to build a sense of like a backboard so that when you do stress out, you have something to fall on and you have a better sense of self to deal with stress. First, to understand where stress comes from, we need to understand what mental health is. The World Health Organization defines mental health as a state of well-being in which the individual realizes his or her own abilities, can cope with the normal stress of life, and can work productively and fruitfully, so with a good outcome, and is able to make a contribution to his or her community. This gives a good understanding of not only what ideal mental health is, but also what it shouldn't look like, and how you can improve your mental health to get a better outcome. At the root of it, mental health is how someone views themselves. A person's self-image will affect how they deal with stress, positive or negative though, because a common misconception with stress is that it always has to have a negative connotation. But with most journeys to better mental health, it's agreed that the progress to better mental health can start at any age and should start with a reflection on not only how you view yourself, but how you view stress, good or bad, who you are as a person now, and where you need to go from there. That is the most integral part of dealing with stress and bettering yourself. But how does your mental self-image of yourself help when you're dealing with something as extreme as a panic attack? And how can you make a better self-image a coping mechanism to stress? By creating a balanced lifestyle and finding a sense of familiarity in anything that brings you joy. Think creative outputs, think people in your life that bring you joy, think familiar sights and smells, playing into the five senses. All it takes is a few deep breaths to remind yourself of the balance you have inside, connecting the joy that is rooted to your fear. Now, with working with mental health, if we look at the AllMinds guide to cultivating an empowering mental health journey, it may be appropriate to use an exercise called the Tree of Life, which is a chart that can stem different forms of life, think exercise or social interaction, and it, quote, helps you better understand what you can do to make your life better balanced. Because stress, good or bad, just likes to feed on how you view yourself and how balanced your life is. You want to create a sense of balance of what's important so that you don't create unnecessary stress. Another way to deal with that stress, besides the tree of life, is to create a mental health plan. Finding things or people in your life that give you comfort and can help cultivate that inner power in yourself, connecting to the positive mental image of yourself that we referenced earlier, can help improve your mental health and, once again, as I said, give you that backboard to rely on. And what do I mean by backboard? I mean so that when something happens like a panic attack, like I mentioned earlier, you have something to rest on, whether it's a person, whether it's a feeling, whether it's being able to tell yourself that I don't need to stress out, that I will figure things out, and that I trust myself to figure things out. And it can be as simple as just bettering your life so that you don't have to lie to yourself and you have to say that I am going to handle this and I am going to do great. When stress becomes too much, building that deeper sense of self to tie you to reality, when you start to panic, when you start to resort to things that are out of your control, or you come up with all these hypotheticals in your mind, building that sense of self to tie you to reality is crucial. Now, next time you find yourself worrying about an essay that you forgot to turn in, or a meeting with an employer, or just anything as simple as a social interaction, before or during you deal with that stress, remember to ground yourself with all the things in your life that keep you calm, and take a few deep breaths. Bringing oxygen to your brain can really relieve a lot of stress, especially in the moment. Remember that a harmful relationship with stress is due to a bad self-image in one's mental health. And finding time to be thankful for what you have and grounded, which makes you calm, is a key factor in linking the emotions of joy that naturally come with the fear of stress. With that being said, remember that stress isn't necessarily a bad thing. Like I said, it's a common misconception. And that having a good relationship with stress can better your self-image because it shows that you care. It shows that that emotion of fear has a deep-seated joy in it and that you just want to see yourself do good. The best way to cope with stress, remember, is to ground yourself, have a great relationship with yourself and with stress, and to take it one step at a time. Thank you.